looking at Project 13 right now, where it is as the release is going to be a release as it needs to release now. There's Caleb's very clear that he needs to get it out and started, and then that will be that will begin that will make the energetic start of it. So that's details-wise from my conversation with Caleb this afternoon, is that Silverlight will probably be about 1 to 2 weeks after the initial launch, which the Silverlight version will be for PC and Mac. It can happen quite quickly because it's similar programming. There's a similar programming to the Windows Mobile, which is what he's been working on himself, and that's finished. He's just doing final run-throughs, going through and through, making clearing in everything that he can find, and we're working together on that. The iPhone team has theirs done, and that's all. So it's all going. There was a big hiccup with payment, setting up all of the actual functionality of the website with the payment gateway. There were a lot of different offers coming through for I don't know how much I should say about that. To do with just Caleb's side of it, but it is interesting to note that there, it seems that some would like to take over the development of it, but Caleb's very clear that to not do that, because the vision of this is incredible. What this will release for everyone around the planet is an option to have a secure communications platform that is just absolutely unprecedented in the way it functions for the average person. There probably are similar systems, or there's probably there are secure networks available, but they're not available to the average person because everything to do with the internet. Is our internet connection going funky? Because right now it's getting a lot of resistance on our side. What's that? Chris?
Sorry, there's a very high background noise on your signal, very high. And
yeah, I know.
Actually, it's just died away now, so press on at the moment. Okay, not sure what that was.
Yeah, well, there's sort of, okay, what this Project 13 means, it's really not like the most amazing platform. When people get it, they'll be thinking, well, yeah, I can do this, but it's not quite as good as this other service right now. They might be tempted to compare it with everything that's available. Like there's a friend showed me Instagram recently, and I thought, man, this is fun. It's actually really fun to use, and I was enjoying it. But then because of what I know, I look at everything that I'm doing on there, and knowing that everything is all about data harvesting and it's owned by Facebook. I know the reason why so much effort goes into those platforms, and why they're all free. And so I have, knowing that, I'm just absolutely excited about Project 13 coming out for my own communications with other people I work with. And I know that when people realize in businesses and in groups that need secure communications, that when they realize what Project 13 does, they're going to be absolutely pumped, because what this means is that they can use the internet, which is used to be totally unsecure, and anything you'd put through the global worldwide internet would be susceptible to interception in different ways. Now that goes by a very high level encryption, and it ends up being available to who you're sending it to. and it's very hard to get it otherwise. And it's not stored on a single server anywhere. The way that the servers are going to work, is there any way to stop that?
Hey, Chris, can you hear us right now?
Yeah, it's coming and going, folks. The only thing you could do is, in fact, it actually drops off when I start to speak, which is most interesting. It may just be your automatic gain controls kicking up a lot, but it seems to be bringing up the background and not your voice. But look, I'll just chip in every now and then when it gets too high and reset it.
Maybe Brian should add something.
I got one thing I want to add. Mark did a great job explaining it, but just to add on to that, because I didn't completely understand it until Caleb really walked me through it and walked me through the platform. It's kind of like that, if anybody's ever seen that movie Eagle Eye, and the premise is that essentially that the people that are watching and harvesting all the data, they follow every aspect of our lives that we do through our phones and through our social media and through our internet searching and so on and so forth. I mean, they know everything about us, and it's sold for profit, and it's just gotten so completely out of control. At this point, this is the first time. I mean, he showed me the back end of the site, what he sees as the moderator of the server, and he could see comments being put up and pictures being put up, but it all comes in as a source code, which means absolutely nothing, which is like a random set of numbers and a random set of letters. So just to kind of illustrate how secure this is, if anybody loses their password, there's no way. I mean, they're like all.
Okay, now they've gone very quiet. Yep, you dropped out just a little. Yeah, we dropped out a little bit, but the big message is don't lose your password. Yeah.
Yeah, because he can't go in the back end of the server and get any personal data from anybody whatsoever. He can see that there's activity, but there's no personal data shared. And anybody that has built an existing system and an existing server would look at this idea like Caleb's nuts, because there's no revenue to be generated on the back end off of all the data. So it's the first of many steps in the right direction to ensure that people's privacy and what they do through their phones, through their internet, through their social media stays theirs and isn't sold for multiple billions of dollars in revenue and profit on the back end. Some people are very passive to the idea of their data being harvesting. That's simply because they don't understand the extent as to how bad it is.
Yeah. Yeah, and it translates extremely well down into the business realm. So as Mark pointed out, that side of people who are actually doing commerce, exchanging energy with one another, that's a platform you want to be on.
Yeah. And then just like an iPhone that has there's slogan, there's an app for that. And now you can just get an app to brush your teeth and, tell you that you look good from time to time. And whatever it is you want an app to do, it'll do that. His platform is going to be developed in such a way that anything and everything can be added to it as the more of the story is told, as more development goes into it. It's the options of this kind of access to this kind of secure server are essentially limitless. There's nothing that's stopping this type of format to now provide every aspect that the internet currently does in social media, in the way that has been going on for so many years now.
Okay, just had a question from the chat about password recovery, and what Caleb's saying about this system is there will be no password recovery, because if there's password recovery, it means that the system administrators actually can get at the password.
Yeah, exactly.
This is fully encrypted in, fully encrypted out, and there's no participation at content level by the server or anyone managing the server. Yep. So that's the it's the price we pay for privacy. There's going to have to be some diligence there.
Yeah, you really will have to take a lot of attention to making sure that you have your password recorded somewhere where you get at.
Yeah, it's just an extra step you have to take along the way.
Yeah. And when you're on your phone, like if you're using it on your phone, one thing too, like you want to have your phone also password protected when you're, just with password, so that when you go to log in, you've got this long key, and you can make it so that it saves the key, so that when you go to it, you don't have to type in the key, the encryption key each time. But because of that, you also need to be mindful to have a password on your phone. I mean, this is just kind of the stuff that we need to start learning about a little bit if we want to have private data. I mean, there's nothing forcing anybody to use this is one thing, you know, so it's a point to be made as we learn what it means to have our data, that it is ours and it is private, and we don't have, you know, you can't send a request for your password to be emailed to you, because that would then presuppose that somebody else, as you were saying before, that somebody else could get access to your data. That's not the case with this. Caleb doesn't have access to your data, even as the owner of the whole company, as the person who runs the whole project. So when you have your phone, you have a password protected phone, so that if somebody takes your phone or borrows it, that they don't have access to your whole Project 13 site.
Yep, well, it's a full responsibility situation, which is the paradigm we're heading into. You know, you actually have to take care of your own stuff.